Hey, welcome back everybody. So today we are going to be working on the top of the camper. So let me show you what we have here. So obviously we have a pop top camper. So I got new material made and I'll show you why. So this stuff is stained, water damaged. See there's not a lift structure here. That's part of the problem. It's tearing. It's operational, but it's not good for what we're doing. It's not insulated on either end where the lift assist or the holds are. So we got some new material. Well, not new material, a whole new top. We had contacted Colorado Camper Vans and they were able to construct us a new top. This one in total height is 34. We're not going to do 34 inches. This one's only 22, 21 for the lift. So we're going to be extending this about 8 inches total. So we're going to go with a 30 inch. So 8 inches additional. So we'll have about 34 inches for the sleep on the cab over top part, which will be nice. And then additional, you can see here, like right now I got about 2 inches above my head, maybe a little more, but it'll be nice to have that additional space for taller people, or I mean just overall, because I am going to also have a bench here, and the back of that bench is going to flip up and turn into another platform for sleeping. So we're going to have a couple of sleeping platforms there for my younger boys, and then obviously I can sleep up there, or my fiance and I can sleep up there or whatever. But we won't typically be in here all at the same time, but my boys and I like to ski and go hiking and camping together, so that'll be perfect for them and myself. Anyways, due to the additional height, due to the fact that this one is gone because it was water damaged and eroded and completely broke apart whenever I was messing with it, we are going to be removing this one as well. Just screwed in down here, and then it's riveted up here, so we're going to drill out all those rivets and then we'll smooth it out. And we're going to make a new one. So let me show you what we're going to use to make the new panels, because these were originally made out of, I don't know, 1/8 inch plywood, and then had a couple of aluminum structures, which, you know, very lightweight. These are all spring-loaded aluminum, these are all spring-loaded aluminum hinges, which does help with the lifting process, but I'm going to put some gas struts on the outside, so I don't really need that anymore. We're going to go with some stainless steel hardware. Here, let's go show you what we got going on. So this one's just kind of gotten started a little bit. Here, let me move this out of the way. This is one of the old ones from that I considered reusing these because it does have the spring, but decided against it. So what we have here is some sheet aluminum. It's 1/8 inch approximately, and then we have 2 sheets. We're gonna have an overlap here, so whenever it folds folds open, it'll have a solid stopping point. This hinge, which is stainless steel, can go here, as you can see. We'll rivet those all together, and then for the mechanism to lock it in place, we have these, which are some very robust spring-loaded pins. Again, rivet those onto the aluminum. Yep, so we're gonna have a 30 inch lift on this, so that'll give us our additional height we need. And that's what we're making today. We're making these. Not sure how far we'll get with this. It is a little bit breezy outside, so I don't really feel comfortable taking the current canvas off and then doing a lift. I need it to be a really still day because I am working out in the open. But we'll get this started at least. For cutting the aluminum, I'm actually just using this inexpensive cordless saw that I've had for years, with a high tooth count non-ferrous blade. This blade is made for cutting non-ferrous metals. That gives us a really nice straight cut, clean. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna just leave these all square and just keep it very simple. We can always add some fabric to one side later on, or it gives us a really cool place to put stickers and stuff eventually. So I'll probably leave it as is. I will show cutting the other one. We'll get to putting it all together. I'll probably just time lapse most of this stuff though. So yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, one of the things that you want to keep in mind whenever you're working with one of these metal cutting saw blades is that they are loud. I have my noise canceling earbuds in, and in reality I should have some proper audio or sound, I guess ear protection. But just keep that in mind whenever you're using something like this, because it is absolutely brutal on the eardrums.
All right, so we have our two pieces now. You saw it get cut out. Again, I just use a high tooth count 6.5 inch saw blade that's made for ferrous metals, non-ferrous metals. Anyways, I was having some issues. That saw is pretty terrible. It's really old, and it is a little cockeyed, so it kept wanting to bind. So yeah, just use a better saw than I did. Now, what we need to do is we have 36-inch stainless steel piano hinges. I did go with stainless steel because it usually reacts a little bit less than normal non-steel would with this, and I wanted some more rigidity than aluminum, so that's why we ended up with these. Now we have this piece, which is 17 inches. So we need to have a 2-inch overlap. And then we have this piece, which is 15 inches. And that's gonna have, obviously, what's up? So, we'll just mark this real quick just so we have an estimate, and then we're gonna figure out the rest of it. Yeah. Now I bought these aluminum sheets off of eBay because they were a lot cheaper than my usual sources, and they're great. They're honestly, they came in super high quality, about half the price of anybody else on Amazon or Metal Depot online or any of those things. So if you're looking at doing something similar, check the different resources out there just because there's a lot available. And then what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna have this lined up at that 2-inch mark, because that's gonna give us our overlap. So this can only fold up so far, right? So we're gonna fold up, and we're gonna have that 2-inch piece, keeping it from overextending. This will get riveted on this side, and then we'll flip it, and then we'll rivet it from the other side. So we'll have a little bit of a rough side on this, but I think it's gonna be great. I thought about, again, trimming this down a little bit at an angle. It gives it a little more style points. Plus it lines up better with this. I just don't know if it's necessary. This has a really nice clean factory edge. Again, if you wanted to do something for style, you could do that, I guess. I'm not real interested in that though. I think we've all established that this camper is not a stylish camper that I'm building. Okay, so there's that. It's my 2-inch mark. Actually, that'll work. Do it that way. Yeah, buddy. There you go. That's, I mean, it's literally that, right? Center this up so it's even. Yep. And then that's it. We're done. That should give us our 30 inches. Almost exactly spot on. Yep. This one needs to come in. What we'll probably do is clamp this so we can get this one on. But yeah, and then what we'll, once we have these ready, we'll go in and remove the other one, so that this one can go on the back or wherever. It doesn't really matter, they're the same. And then the hinges will go on the outside of this one. I think this is a way better idea than going with more wood, purely for the fact that this isn't gonna rot. This is on the inside. You may see some thermal movement as opposed to using plywood. But again, it's a pop-up. You're already gonna have to be running the heater if you're in the wintertime anyways, so I don't think it's an issue. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty sweet. We'll get it lined up and set up, and then we'll just do a couple rivets in it. All right, guys, so the new lift panels are done. I did not record a lot of it because, well, it's kind of boring. They're not that complicated. I'm gonna show you now kind of how they work and all that stuff. We're not installing them until we get a nice day to get the top released, and I don't want it to fly off, so. All right, so let me show you. So these are the finished panels. I need two of them, one for front, one for back. They're 37 inches wide and 30.75, about 30 3/4 tall. This is giving my extra height for the new material, which is also extra tall. Now you can see here, these are all stainless steel hinges. I used aluminum rivets. And then here, what we did is we used a galvanized spring-loaded gate latch, which will fold down and out of the way whenever this is in transit or the top is down. Again, riveted everything on, had to add an extra plate of aluminum to increase the thickness here so accommodate the difference here. Now, to keep this from over opening, right? We don't want it to open too far and hit the canvas material or the topper material. There is a 2-inch overlay here. So, or I'm sorry, over here. So this top piece is 17 inches, the bottom piece is 15 inches, and then the hinge is in the center. So you can see here, whenever it opens, it folds, you know, and then whenever it comes back open, there's a solid stopping point, and then we can just get our latch in place, and now we're not going anywhere. Now, these kind of came out, I think it looks pretty cool, but you know, with the rivets and the thinner material and hinges, we needed to accommodate some space. So I drilled out some holes and then I countersunk them, or I guess I don't know. But either way, I think it looks pretty good. It allows this to fold nice and tight, as you can see. But yeah, so we'll get these installed in the next couple of days, hopefully. Today was a little bit windy. I was hoping to get it worked on today, but yeah, that's the new panels. And it came out pretty good.
So it was necessary for me to remove this rear panel still. Like I said previously, it's great condition, but still had to get those screws and rivets removed. And in the front of the camper, you could see this is one of the reasons I wanted to raise the roof, because it is awfully tight in there. You could lay on your side and roll around, but there was no way I was sitting up in there as I removed the old hinges from this panel.
All right, guys, quick update on what we got going on here, and then we'll get back to work. It's work. Anyways, so remove the door. The door overlaps this piece of extruded aluminum, which holds the vinyl in place, so the door has to come off. This panel was already gone and destroyed from rot. You can see there's a lot of water moisture damage that had happened in here previously. So drilled out those hinges to make room for the new stuff. And then went ahead and removed this one as well. This one was in pristine condition, so I'll actually probably post that in my Tiger group. Yeah, popped the rivets out, undrilled it. I'm ready for install of the new panels, but not really. The new panels are 8 inches taller. Right now I just have the top supported by some scrap walnut chunks I had on this side. Over here I have some, I don't even remember what what this is at this point, but that's just supporting this side. I do have some larger full height pieces that are 8.5 inches taller, so when we put in the new folding sides we can get those in place to support, lift and support this. And then we'll do the side lifts on both sides, and then I'll probably use some wood to just do a cross support, just so this isn't racking side to side while we're putting on the new canvas, because the material actually is what gives the top its rigidity from moving side to side this way and that, by being in place. So as soon as we remove that, it's going to want to move. So that's kind of what we're doing. Or I'll do some jack pieces like this and then screw them into the aluminum. We'll figure that out as we go. But next step is to, I gotta go back outside, and I'm gonna start removing the top trim off of the roof that holds the canvas. And then after that's off, I'll go ahead and remove the lower one and go from there. We're probably just gonna cut this canvas out because it's not reusable, because it's so water damaged and dry rotted. So what I'm talking about here, okay, so let's show you what we got going on here. I removed all the bolts, I'm sorry, screws from the molding. So the bottom one looks like this. It's basically like a real shallow flat piece. The top piece looks like this. So what we're gonna have to do, and it comes in, top one's in 2 pieces, bottom one's in 2 pieces. So for 4 pieces total, you know, big C's. I'm just gonna work my way around and get all those off. And then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I'll go around back and show you, because I have my ladder and stuff back here where I can easily access. Okay, so you can see now that trim piece just smashes the top material between the roof there and this, and then it's filled in with some caulking. And on the bottom side, it's smashed here on the outside. So there you go. There's the inside of the camper. Excuse me. Now the good thing for me is I had my canvas cut oversized, so I can install, do my trim pieces, and then come back with a razor and cut it all the right height evenly, and then we can have, and then we go back and caulk the top and the bottom rail. But first, because I'm raising the roof on mine, I have to go and get it to the height I need and support it temporarily so I can get my end cap, my panels in. So let's do that first.
I'll just go and like to mention the absolute nightmare this ended up being. I was planning on borrowing a friend's gantry crane and just hooking from the top and lifting it straight up, but that did not come to fruition, mostly because I'm impatient and just jumped into this project without really planning ahead. So this could definitely be done a lot smoother if you plan ahead. So we got it done in at the end, and nothing fell and broke. Nobody got injured, but it was a little spicy for, you know, a good 15 minutes while we were finagling this. I was getting additional material to be able to support the top properly. So yeah, definitely don't do it the way I did it. Get some help and support the top better. So yeah.
All right, so got a few things done. The side panels, or the lift panels, are on. Let's see here. Now, the top, getting it up to this level was a pain in the ass. Tried to do it on my own. I ended up getting my fiance out here. Yeah, I don't recommend doing it alone. I still need to put a couple extra rivets on the top piece, but see, I used the stainless steel screws on that. I have a hole drilled. Anyways, I have the stainless steel screws on the top because that needs to fully close, and that'll help it from binding too much from having extra rivets on there. This bottom part's been riveted. It's working really good. I think these are going to be top notch. Now I need to get the material draped around so that I can start getting it set up. So that's the next step.
Now you can see here, as I start getting this going, the wind decided to pick up. The day was a pretty long day. I didn't want to just leave this completely open, so I decided to just keep pushing through, and the wind picked up. So it did make this a little bit more challenging, but overall we got it done, and came out really good. But you can see I'm just here shifting it around and getting it situated. I do have to go around a lot, and at some point, I think here in a second, I start adding tape to hold it in place because it kept sliding off because the wind was pushing on it. I will say, and obviously not sponsored or anything like that, but Colorado camper vans was 10 out of 10 to work with. Super on top of it, quick, and the quality of their product is fantastic. So if you're looking for top for your camper of any kind, it might be worth reaching out to those guys. Outside of that, we'll just watch me wander around. Yeah, you can see I'm finally putting some tape on here to keep it from getting blown down, and then I'll go around and start getting some of the aluminum trim pieces on.
All right, I apologize for the wind. It's windy as hell out here, but let me show you what we've done real quick. So Got top trims on, all the way screwed through. You want to be sure that you're using the same screw holes that you started with. Okay, like I said, take your time and make sure you're lining up your screw holes on your trims so you're not putting new holes in your aluminum. You're just going straight into the originals. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go around and stretch it. I want it nice and snug, not super tight, but snug. And then I'll tape it so it's all held in place, and then I'll go around and I'll get my aluminum bottom piece on. That's going to get everything tied in, tied in so I can take the braces off on the inside. So that's what we're going to do. Again, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to ensure that I'm screwing directly back into these holes. These are the original holes. It's not super hard. It works it's pretty easy to do. So just take your time, get started in the center of your aluminum piece and then work your way out. That's the best way to do it. Okay, so I went around, I stretched it. You can see the corners are not perfect. It's really hard to get around because this angle of this. So we're gonna do what we can there. The remainder of it's pretty tight. I need to come back and hit a couple of these spots on this side. We'll do this side first and then do the other side. The other side is also taped though. You can see all the way around. Taped and stretched. Is it perfect? No. Let's talk about this for a second. The way that the windows are done, it does a lot of pulling in that area. I don't love it, but it's not the end of the world. I might just try to pull some of that out whenever I do the trim on this side. Corners are good, but not great. I might try to get those a little tighter whenever it's time. Overall though, pretty good. Like if you look at the seams, they are off by maybe about ½ an inch shifted this way to the left. I had a really hard time getting them to come over, but they're vertical. They're straight up and down. So they're in a line. You can see the difference in the windows that I had. The other ones were like, that one was probably slightly bigger than that originally, but those over here were these little tiny slits. I really like this, so we can get some airflow in the summertime. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna go around and start the trim on the aluminum on the trim side, on the passenger side first.
Yeah, you can see in this clip I did get smart and put some tape on the bottom part. Finally, I went around and getting that bottom U or C-shaped aluminum piece on, starting in the center and working my way out. And then here in a minute, you're going to notice that I go in the garage and grab some locking pliers, which made it a ton easier to grab onto the material and get some stretch on it, because you know these corners and the sewing and everything getting a lot of pleats in it, and I wanted to just clean that up a bit. So yeah, if you're doing this yourself, definitely get some friends or get some pliers and stretch it out a little bit while you're going. It made a big difference. Anyways, we're gonna wrap up here in a second. I unfortunately did not get any outro video. This was filmed a couple of months ago, and then I was sick, not sick, and then holidays. So, in fact, I'm still just getting over another cold, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll have some more camper video updates here in the next few weeks. Thank you very much.